Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents the Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by the Sky Lounge and Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, and Books and Brews Pizzeria. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire arts and entertainment conversations and has been recognized by the Sioux Falls Stage Awards with a special distinction for promoting the arts. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 75 of the Dave Holly Hour. How about that? 3/4 of the way to the century mark, but 75 is associated with diamond, so it's a diamond episode for all of us. And thank you so much for those of you that have been following along all 75 episodes. You are special, special people. For those that are joining for the first time, what this show is about is Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment Conversations, as we talk to the creatives. Sioux Empire, if you're unfamiliar, if you're outside the area, is basically the Sioux Falls, South Dakota metro area, but we make our way over into Iowa, Minnesota, a little bit down into Nebraska and so forth. But basically, if it's from the Dakotas, we'll put you on the show too. All right. By the way, normally I kind of take this and put this at the end, but I need you to take a look at the DaveHollyHour.com website. Check out the new news and notes that are posted on there. Some exciting things happening for, an organization in particular, and a really good balladeer, a badass balladeer. We'll let you know about that. Don't worry, those people are coming up on very near episodes. We'll put it that way, very, very near. In the meantime, there's a couple of things we always have to take care of for housekeeping. Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day in your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party. All right. I have my Jack Daniels Diet Coke with a lime, better known as the Jasper Newton, in hand. I'm going to toast every single one of you. Although I probably shouldn't, that would be a lot. So whatever your drink of choice, which is probably based off what time of the day you also happen to be listening to this program, lift it and toast yourself, please. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Here we are, the Diamond episode number 75. But things just keep growing and growing for this show. And thank you so much to each and every one of you, for those that are loyal listeners, for those longtime listeners, for those listening for the first time, thank you. To all the arts and entertainment groups we have in the Greater Sioux Empire, to all the artists and entertainers, executive directors, artistic directors, supporters, volunteers, and so forth that have been on the show, as we are now over 150 guests that have been on this program. Also, the Facebook page likes are going up quite nicely, as are the downloads. So thank you. Cheers to every one of you. Now, first-time listener, in addition to telling you earlier what the show's about, there's two things we do each week. The first was right there, the Weekend Eve, because Thursday is the beginning of the weekend for many, because so many things go on. The other thing we do, though, is give a special shout-out that we like to call Honorable Mention. And that goes out to someone, something, or whatever that has recently made me smile. And in this case, this week's honorable mention goes out to my friend Chad Berger. Chad is one of the regulars at trivia at the Sky Lounge. He always gives me grief. Well, specific details, Dave, and so forth when it comes to the questions. So he always keeps me on my toes. But what I loved is the fact that, Chad is a professor or a teacher, an adjunct. I'm not sure what exactly his title is, but he teaches at the University of South Dakota. He teaches statistics, and he's big on those anyway. But he sent out a tweet this past week saying, "Student gets B's on everything the entire semester. Sends me an email asking what they need to do the last 4 weeks to get an A in the class. My response, have you heard of a flux capacitor?" Nice reference to Back to the Future. I love it. That's a great, great response. And what a wonderful retort. Way to go, Chad. You are this week's coveted winner of Honorable Mention. Boy, big weekend coming up. Starts tonight. We're going to be talking about that later in the show with Jenny Mack. But coming up next on the Dave Holly Hour, two youngsters that started a poll group, Entertainment Polls, on Facebook. It has become huge. Their names are Tori and JD. We'll be back to hear from them in just a moment. Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment. 605-334-1463.
People ask him where he got his top shelf voice. Dime store. Bargain bin. Once again, here is Dave Holly.
Welcome back to the Dave Holly Hour, everybody. This is episode 75. We're proud of that, and I tell you what, 75 is equated with the diamond. And sometimes when you're rooting around and so forth, you spot something that's really unique, and that is the case that has come up today. It's a diamond in the rough for sure, and a huge diamond in the rough, though. Joining me now from Entertainment Polls on Facebook are Tori and JD. And how many thousand people follow this?
Well, right now, first off, we wanted to thank you for letting us be on here.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yes,
We
definitely.
are
Thank you.
a little over 26,000 people that participate. There's usually a lot more. That's how many likes we have on the page, but there's usually a lot more that end up participating in our polls.
Incredible. Right here out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yes.
Yep, right now,
Yep.
right now we're at 26,649 people that like our page. We have 27,436 that follow us.
Okay. You want to send like 10% of them my way?
Well,
No,
absolutely.
yeah, no, of
Definitely.
course, why not? It's
I'd
like-
take that. I'd be I get into the hundreds and I'm like, hey, wow, this thing's cooking.
Yes,
That's absolutely the way that we were at first. We started, and he actually started. JD started on his own personal page, and he was getting like 15 votes, and he was so excited.
Yeah.
And then we started out doing this big page. And then we started getting into the hundreds, and we were even more excited, and we just thought it was the most crazy thing in the world. And then we hit 1,000, and that was the most crazy thing in the world. And it's just, it's incredible to see, to go from something that little, and we're still growing. We're still
that's
gaining
amazing.
quite a bit. So it's crazy to see.
Yeah. All right. So Entertainment Polls. It's a Facebook group. Polls, obviously, we get to vote. What are we voting on?
So we range from anything from movies to sports to video games to actors, actresses, like anything and everything we can find out that there's a tournament that we could just kind of do like your favorite. That's really all what we work with is just like favorite anything with entertainment. We started out doing which one do you believe is better, which caused a huge lot of controversy in the comments that really got taken a little too far and everything. So we figured let's change it up. And from then on out, we just started doing which one's your favorite, because there's never a wrong answer when it comes to that. So that way,
because it's someone's opinion, but at least this way you get to gauge opinions.
Exactly, and it's still
take a look at
gauges
things.
conversation with everybody.
That's fantastic. So, what was the very first one?
The very first one that I ever did was, once again, on my personal page. It was your favorite movie from the 80s. So we got 64 of the movies from the 80s, pitted them against each other. And I think the finals was like Beetlejuice and The Empire Strikes Back. And I think it had like 24 votes in the total of it and everything. And I was just blown away. What actually got me onto that was that I saw actually on a Disney page that I follow, was that they had their own like little bracket tournament that they had going on. And I was like thinking to myself, okay, that's kind of cool. I wonder how like my friends would vote that way and everything, if it would go the same way, if it would go different. And I'm like, just did it on my own personal page. And I'm like, okay, so if I ever told myself, if I ever started a page, it would try to be unique, something different. Like when somebody tries to invent something, they try to go for something that people usually want and everything, but hasn't really been out there. So I'm like thinking to myself, okay, what's been my favorite thing to go when I visit a page? It's usually the very slim chance they ever post a poll and everything, like on the big pages. It's like very entertaining, even if they only do one. And I'm like, what happens if there's a page that does nothing but polls? So it's like pretty much what you want out of a page, like the best part for most people, and just make that your main reason for that second page and everything like that. So I did a bunch of research trying to find other pages, seeing if there were, and there was really none that were really active anymore and everything. I'm like, okay, maybe I have something right here and everything. Now's the time. And then that's when Entertainment Poll started. It was right after that tournament.
All right. So then, Tori, where did you jump in on this?
So I was his friend before. I was one of the voters. So he was posting these polls, and I was really supportive because I think that's really awesome. I mean, someone had a really good idea, and it obviously was a good idea because we're definitely doing a really good job.
Yeah, you definitely are getting the numbers.
Definitely. And so I was just a voter. I was voting. I was sharing, and I was trying to get some of my friends to vote. And then he created this actual page. And about a month after he created the page, he was like, I need some help. We're gaining, like, we're in the hundreds now. Like, I need some help. Maybe I can get some fresh ideas. And we were friends at that point, talking more often. So he was like, do you want to be part of it? You want to help me set some of this stuff up so I don't have to do all of this work alone? And I was like, absolutely. It has been, it's been about almost 3 years now.
Yep,
wow.
About 3 years.
Okay. Do you have like a total number of votes that have been tallied from all of these?
We have not. We've kind of kept track of like some of our top polls that have gotten votes and everything. I know for the longest time, one of our biggest polls that really got a handle in on votes was we did which one's your favorite between The Office and Supernatural. And then people started sharing to their groups and everything, started getting, I think that ended with like 39,000 votes. And we only do 24-hour time frames. So all those votes are happening within those 24 hours. And then we ended up doing, it was I think it was like Lord of the Rings up against, I can't remember who it was, but that garnished in about like 50,000 votes. And then our biggest one that we've ever done was for favorite character. And we did it. It was actually the finals of, or it was our favorite franchise, our favorite like entertainment franchise. And we did Star Wars. That was up against Avatar: The Last Airbender. And obviously with Avatar coming back onto Netflix, getting that huge revamp, like it ended up with 75,000 votes. But yet it was still a 51% to 49%. Like it was that still close, even after all those
so
votes.
America's divided. We got
it. But yeah, that's our goal, is to try to find a tournament that can top one another and everything like that. And our biggest one that we did our favorite actor/actress tournament. We written out, I can't remember how many hundreds upon hundreds
So
of actors,
many.
and we fit them into, I think, 8 different male actor tournaments and then 8 different female actress tournaments and everything.
8 tournaments of 64, if that doesn't
Wow,
tell you how
64.
many. And yes, my hand was cramping after that because that was one writing all out.
And we took the top 4 from each tournament and put them into what we call a grand finale tournament, where the top 4 would face off against each other and everything like that. And that was our huge one that took about a year and a half to finally like come to circle on that.
Wow.
And then we're like, how can we top that? Because that was a huge thing for us to really bring in a lot of people, because obviously each actor had certain fan bases that from different shows, movies that they've been in. So that garnished a lot of shares in it. So we're like thinking, okay, there's got to be something that we could do to top this. And right now we're doing our favorite movie from the past 64 years. So we take about 128 movies from every single year from 2020 all the way back to the 60s. And we have about 2 tournaments apiece. And then we take the top winner of each tournament for each year. We put them in our grand finale tournament that we have labeled. The second place runner up for each year goes into our wild card tournament. And so at the very end, we're having a People's Choice tournament where we give people the chance to pick 64 that didn't make it, have the like top 8 of the ones that make it from there go into the wild card tournament. The top 8 from the wild card tournament gets the last 8 places in the grand finale tournament. And then you got all those big giant movie fan bases like going head to head, like ones that never experienced a loss in like 7 rounds. A lot of them are going to be eliminated right off the bat in round 1 and everything. It'll be, that's our big one.
It's so intriguing because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so what would I put on like that list? Because I know there's going to be people that I really respect as an actor or an actress that are usually lower billed.
Yeah.
But they're great at what they do as supporting actors and actresses and so forth.
Right.
Yeah.
But nobody thinks of them top of mind and so forth. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start creating my list just for that.
Awesome. That would be amazing. It's awesome to see like what actual like movie groups, like a lot of people get really upset that these movies that have won Oscars that are like winning so much in popularity aren't winning these because they are losing to movies that haven't been wellly received by critics but have been loved by fans.
Right.
And obviously when it comes to favorites, the fans are what really come into play. So they're like, where did this movie come from? And I know we got like anything from Beetlejuice has won. Both of the Jurassic Parks, the original ones, have won. Star Wars has won theirs and everything. Lord of the Rings have won theirs. Like it's setting up to be like a huge grand finale.
What about the whole DC versus Marvel?
Marvel has won quite a few with Infinity War. Thor Ragnarok won its year. A lot of the original Avengers won its year. DC's still trying to work its way up and being able to win.
It's definitely apparent that more people prefer Marvel. We actually did a DC versus Marvel poll at one point. I don't remember how many it got, but it was one of our bigger ones, and Marvel, I believe, won it. So it's definitely people prefer Marvel from what I'm seeing. Maybe they just think DC's too dark.
Yeah. Now, have you also taken the show and broken it down by characters within the show and so forth? Have you done that?
That is actually what we talked about on how to try to top this movie tournament, this giant one, is to do it with characters.
Right,
And then
because
to break it down even
You think of
further
some
like
of those
that.
that have such incredible fanatics, like all the Harry Potters.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yep.
And so forth.
Supernatural.
Yeah. And there's just going to be, with, the total number of characters alone
yeah.
that are in those shows. And to battle that down, I think would be
It's
amazing just to
It would be
watch.
crazy.
Yeah. So what's on there right now?
Right now, I think we're in the year of 1979. I believe
One of my favorites.
I believe Alien is beating Rocky 2 right now in the quarterfinals.
Oh,
Monty-
Rocky too.
Monty Python, Life of Brian.
Life of Brian.
That's beating out Star Trek, the motion picture.
Wow.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then we have the Muppet movie just barely ahead of Apocalypse Now. That was a big one. And then Mad Max.
so many songs about rainbows?
Exactly. And then Mad Max is kind of manhandling the Amityville horror right now.
That
but
was a unique movie when that came out. There weren't such movies like that. And, now,
Right.
turn your head next week, here's one. You get that
Yeah.
type of thing. What do you think will be the ultimate for your page, first of all?
like the overall movie to win
Yeah,
everything.
what would be that? What are you hoping this all becomes yet? Because, obviously this has jumped not just leaps and bounds, but leaps and bounds exponentially.
Exponentially.
Not only have we jumped leaps and bounds, we're actually we have quite a few fans that are international. So we're
Right.
not even just in the United States, we're international, which is something that completely blows my mind.
Uh-huh.
Like I think about this and like how we started, and now we're like in different countries, and it's just like, what the heck just happened?
Do you, on those fans, do you get to know some of them with chatting back and forth and so
Yeah,
forth?
actually,
Yep.
we do quite a bit of messaging. We try
Excellent.
and get their input. We do this thing called a tournament poll break because obviously the 79, not a lot of people are fans of it, and so like we're getting like less votes. So what we do is we'll do like 2 votes. We'll say, hey, send us what you want us to do a poll on, and we'll take those and we'll post those every couple of days. That way it helps get more people included.
Yeah, and so that's great, because you got the interaction then, and I have seen that on the page, suggested by or thanks to so and so for
Yep,
bringing
we
this
give
one
them-
and so forth.
Yep, we give them credit.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. But like you said, it's not just about movies, it's not just about TV. You got sports, you got
Right.
everything else. Did you do anything with March Madness and so forth?
Oh, we haven't. We have actually only done one sports one.
Okay.
But we got a lot of very negative feedback on that
Oh.
because obviously around here, hunting and fishing is a huge sport, which in other parts is very, very, very frowned upon.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of bad messages for that
I
and
can
everything.
understand that.
So that kind of put a little hiatus on that
see-
until we kind of figure out what's kind of more widely.
I'll give you a tournament break one then.
Yeah.
Favorite baseball movie. That way gives you sports and a movie. Yeah. Let's put The Natural up against Field of Dreams.
Oof. You got it. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get
Natural
that.
versus Field of Dreams.
That'll be a big one. Yeah, I mean, overall with this movie tournament, I know my front runners that I would like to see would be Beetlejuice. Always been a fan of Beetlejuice.
Oh gosh, yes.
John Carpenter's The Thing,
Yeah.
won 1982, and the original Jurassic Park. Those 3 are my top 3 to kind of hopefully. I don't know if it will because Beetlejuice does have a lot of Tim Burton groups that
Yeah.
help
Oh, true.
portray it.
Yeah.
The Thing has a lot of horror groups that like to propel that, and then Jurassic Park has a lot of Jurassic Park groups that help push. But then like I said, you got Star Wars, you got Lord of the Rings, you got Marvel, you got Harry Potter that has won some of them, and then all of them, Toy Story even was blowing people out. Not very many groups on that. It's
You know
just
what?
nostalgia with that.
I like Jurassic Park. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but the thing I will always remember about Jurassic Park is when it came out, there was a national radio announcer. I caught his show one day, and he says, "And you can bet Jurassic Park that's going to be a hit."
Oh, that is awesome.
Funny.
That was
So
funny.
every time
funny.
Jurassic Park comes up, the first thing that comes to mind, you can bet your ass it's going to be a hit.
That is awesome.
All right, what are the
That's
things you
great.
haven't hit yet that you want to hit on this?
Me personally, I want to do, because obviously, so we're both Broncos fans. You're a Broncos fan too? Oh my God,
yes.
that made me so happy.
My first
Oh my God, that's
radio,
so
my first
awesome.
radio job my first full-time job out
Mm-hmm.
of college. I was a reporter at Broncos training camp.
Oh my
1985.
gosh. That is
That is awesome.
Carl Mecklenburg, favorite Bronco of all time.
But one thing that I want to see is I want to see a football team tournament, because obviously, so a really, really good friend of ours, Blake, is a huge Vikings fan, so we love to give him crap about it. And we know quite a few people that just like different teams. So I really want to do a football one just to see where people lay in things. Like, I don't know. Like, I definitely want to make sure it's a favorite and not who do you think is like the better football team, because that's going to just be like, oh, well, the Vikings are better. Oh, the Steelers are better. Like, my dad's, I believe, a Steelers fan. But for somehow he got a Broncos fan for a daughter. But I would just love to see a favorite football team tournament. That's the one I'm excited for. Just to, not even just to see who, like, not to see who will win, but just to see what people are interested in.
How about a current topic like the guest hosts that are on Jeopardy right now?
Ooh, that would be a good one.
Because I think that's been really interesting.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would
no,
definitely
They've
be
all
a
done
good
well.
one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
They definitely have.
Oh wow, that would be a good one.
Just gonna
I know.
jot that down here.
I know the one thing that I'm hoping for to come out of this grand finale tournament is our very first poll to top 100,000 votes.
Yeah.
That's what we're really trying to push for. I know it's pretty difficult when you only give them a 24-hour window, where most of the polls usually are 7 days and everything, so they're able to get those. And we used to do like 2 days at a time, and then we found out it was like after we finished all round one, we had to wait until we could do round two and everything. So we were stuck waiting, not without post. And so then we're like, okay, let's try to like speed it up
So
a
do
little
you
bit.
actually post every single day?
Oh yeah, yep.
100%.
Wow.
Every single day.
Fandango.
Yep. It's usually right now, her computer's down, which has gotten where we did our brackets was off for computer.
Did they get COVID?
And
No. Tested negative, thanks.
and it's been down, so I'm not able to do it on my computer for some reason, or our phones. So we haven't been able to really post a bracket in the past like 10, 12 tournaments that we've done and everything. So it's kind of difficult with that. And with these movies, it's really difficult because how do we place these movies in round one without being too biased? So what we do is we go IMDb and we list them from their IMDb scores.
Yeah.
But then obviously it's a favorite tournament. So then after round one's all said and done, I collect every single movie, how many votes it's got, and then revamp to go by its popularity, which is when it comes to favorites. So round two is completely different from round one, but then after round two, it's set in stone going forward. So a lot of people that see them in round one, they're like, oh, these two are definitely going to be in the finals. It'll be a shame. But then one of them isn't as popular as the other one. So they end up going against each other in like round two or round three. And then they get upset by that. I'm like, well, then both. Like, it's like you put all of it in one, but not the other one.
Yeah, and
It's
in
like,
fact, I was going to ask, I know you had said that, a couple of times you've had some feedback that wasn't necessarily great feedback, but it caused a stir. And if nothing else, remember, any publicity is good publicity.
right.
Fair enough.
Now, do you get the people that just kind of jibe you after something and say, hey, come on, how did this not get in?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there
Quite a few.
there are quite a few,
few.
and we try and make sure we monitor the comments. That way no one's being too rude, but we do get quite a few comments like, well, what the heck? Why are they not in there? And we simply respond with, we leave the votes up to you. If it did not get past round one or round two, we base it like you guys are the ones voting. We're not controlling this whatsoever. We're not sharing to pages. We're not doing this to make one over the other. If you want this to get passed, put forth the effort to get it past its competitor.
I'm assuming you guys just started this off as fun.
Oh, yeah.
Is it still fun?
Oh,
Okay.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
But with all the likes and follows and votes and everything coming in, are you now thinking, how can we make some money?
That's a thought that my dad has actually asked me quite a bit. He's like, so when are you going to start making money on this? You put enough time and effort into it. It's like
we want to start with something small. We want to start like making t-shirts and stuff like that. Because I mean, we're definitely growing in popularity. So we figured, why not
To have
do
some merch out there. Exactly. Yeah.
And what was it? I really wanted to at least get past the 100,000 like mark before like looking in, because I've heard like a lot of ads that people like, that's how they kind of help make the money, is by they help Yeah, with ads posting on their page and everything to get like people to start buying their stuff.
Right.
And then we get part of that.
Then you get a little bit of that.
And everything like that. But I mean, we're trying to get also more around Sioux Falls and everything, trying to get more well known around Sioux Falls, like the SuperCon, trying to get a spot in there
fantastic.
to really get our name really out there and everything, just to, even if we don't ever make any money, that's perfectly fine, because just to know, like,
Kind of like being a
how great-
podcaster.
Yeah. Wait. It's all just fun, and it's amazing to see like all the different kinds of people that get brought in, and
Boy, yeah,
seeing how excited people get by these polls. And
I
it just
can
makes
see
me happy.
at
SuperCon,
SuperCon, like a big screen,
oh yeah.
all the votes coming up.
Oh, man,
yeah,
that
that would
right
be-
here.
Yep,
very
exactly.
exciting.
Yeah, we just got our very first logo, I believe, like about a
Excellent.
week ago, and everything took us, 3 years about it to finally get our actual first logo put
Well,
together. And
What we were doing before is like our profile picture for the page and like the cover photo. I went through and I actually edited those. I made them look all pretty, but none of it's been like an official logo. So it's kind of a big step for us. We're kind of getting stuff not necessarily more solidified, but more us.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And it's doing incredibly well. That's phenomenal. Those numbers are just amazing. So when you guys aren't putting together polls about entertainment, what do you like to see in entertainment?
So I love movies. I really enjoy going to the movies and the experience, especially like the XD theaters. Actually, for the first time ever, I went to the IMAX theater when we went and saw Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, wow.
Which was super exciting. It was my first IMAX experience, and I don't want to go back to a normal movie theater now because it was so amazing. But that's one thing I love is like the new movies that are coming out. Honestly, even if it doesn't seem interesting to me, it's the experience of going and seeing it. I usually don't get to do it very much. Obviously, COVID hit and everything, so it kind of cut back on my movie going. But I love going to the movies, and then also just listening to music. Driving around listening to music is one of my favorite things to do.
Excellent. Yeah. I renamed it the Pandemic. And how about you?
I love my movies. I'm a huge horror fanatic.
Oh, do I have a friend?
Yeah,
He's probably on your site writing something already.
But TV shows, you get lost in them very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
The Office, by far, the one that I come to rewatch it. Like,
Well, I've watched every episode of Taxi at least 4 times.
That's
Gone through the whole Works Besides back when it was on. Yeah.
That's us with The Office.
Okay,
I had never seen The Office. I had never really wanted to see The Office until I became friends with him, and he's like, "You're sitting down and you're watching this with me. You don't get a choice." And now I'm obsessed. Thank you very much for that.
And people are obviously obsessed with your not website, but it is a Facebook group called Entertainment Polls. So look that up, like them, join them, maybe even get some feedback to them and so forth. Do you have a website as well?
We do not. We, I guess, once again, wanted to try to get a little footwork before, and then kind of forgot about it as like we started going on. But also wanted to throw out there that we are currently looking for like one extra person in Sioux Falls that to kind of help us out, as now we're starting to hit that mold where it's a little more difficult for just 2 people to kind of handle the page and everything like that, to get that new person that really loves this stuff and everything. So that is a shout out. If anybody is possibly interested, to please hit us up with a message. You never know. But it's a great fun experience. I mean, if you like when it comes to if you make money off of this, if you love what you do for work, you never work a day in your life and everything like that. But I mean, it would be nice, but I'm just doing it for fun right now, and that's what I feel
fun
makes
is always good.
Yep, and I feel that's what makes it a lot different than a lot of other bigger pages.
Right.
we still put all the fun into it and just do it for enjoyment and to help other people enjoy it.
Excellent. Well, I've certainly, from the things that I've taken a look at on it, I've enjoyed it greatly. I was like, click immediately, click. There we go.
Yep.
Okay, one final question.
Yep.
Any celebrities on this?
We actually got our very first big celebrity. I don't know if you've seen The Room, that 2007 movie with Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau.
The actor who played Mark, where he made that "Oh hi Mark" and everything. He actually found our page, and there was a poll, the finals for 2007, which was The Room up against Lord of the Rings,
Greg
The Return of the
Sestero.
King, and it was Greg.
Greg Sestero, I think is how
Okay.
you pronounce his name.
He ended up finding that poll and actually ended up sharing it on his
very
personal
cool.
page,
Excellent.
which was
That-
that just blew my mind when I went and saw it. I'm like looking at the people who shared it because we can see who shares it and everything. And he popped up and I went and I'm like, okay, this has to be just a fan page of his and everything. Turns out it was actually certified official page. And I'm like,
I was at work and I got a message from him and he's like, you need to call me now. And so I call him. I'm like, what? Is there an emergency? What's going on? And he's freaking out and he tells me, you'll never guess who just shared our poll. And I'm like, who? And he's like, Mark from The Room. And so he's never seen The Room, but I have. And it truly is the best worst movie. Like it's not a good movie, but it's also a good movie. You know what I mean? Like it's very poor acting and all of that. I mean, and to some point that kind of shows how good of actors they are because they can like. I think that was like the meaning of it, like
Right, to be a farce.
to be a farce, and so that kind of like shows how good of actors they truly are because they can make their like acting skills to the point where it's like not very good. But like I was so excited. He tells me this because like I really enjoy that movie. I mean, it's a bad movie. I really still enjoy it, and quite a few people did too. It got pretty far did we do that one in a tournament?
2007.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I just couldn't remember if we did 2007 yet or not.
2003. Sorry.
2003, yeah. So it actually got a lot further than a lot of people thought, but I was so excited to see that he had shared that. I was freaking out, and he was freaking out because he knew that this was huge. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate it. It's great. One of the things I love about doing this podcast is I like to speak to people that are passionate about what they do, and it's easy to see. It was smack off the bat. Here we go. We're having fun today.
That's awesome.
So thank you both for being on the show. I
well,
appreciate it.
thank you very
for
much
having
for
us.
the opportunity. This, like he said, we're trying to get big in Sioux Falls too. So this is such a huge opportunity for us. Because I was doing a little digging on your page. I'm like, wow, he's got quite a few few people downloading that, and like, I was like, that's actually really cool. And then he was like, maybe we should message him and see if we could potentially get on there.
What's kind of funny is that if we ever do get this really big rolling, you can also make the comment that you're the very first podcast
That's right.
we ever done.
Yes.
The very
That's
first
what I
one.
wanna have it on.
I interviewed those people. Were the very first ones to ever interview them.
I was the first one. They're mine.
And they're Bronco fans.
And they're Broncos
Yes, and
fans.
we're Broncos fans.
All
Love it.
right.
I love it.
Thanks again. Appreciate your time, and have a wonderful next poll, whatever it might be.
never
I'm
know.
sure it'll be great. And we're crossed our fingers for 100,000.
Definitely.
All
going
right.
for it.
Excellent. Appreciate it. We'll
you.
be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Sure, they have darts, and you've heard me talk about how ruggedly handsome the trivia host is, but all caps fun never stops at the Sky Lounge and Tea. And fun is best had with your friends enjoying live entertainment, as in live and local. Yeah, the Sky Lounge believes in giving you the best bands, solo artists, and comedians from the area. The Neo Johnsons, Elizabeth Hunstead, Skylar Volks, as well as many others. And a great staff will make sure you enjoy your fun at the Sky Lounge in Tea, South Dakota.
So much more than podcasting. Find out more online. DaveHollyHour.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Glad to have you listening to the 75th episode of the Dave Holly Hour podcast. 75 is associated with diamonds. Tell you what, we've got diamonds in our area.
Shine
Lots.
bright like a diamond.
And not just, places you can go buy flashy rings. What we have is diamond caliber talent. And it all comes together in a little variety show that we call the Vaudies.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. Oh, let's give it a timpani. The Vaudies. 8 p.m. tonight. Sky Lounge, T, South Dakota. And then, boom, one for the gift card. There we go. All right.
I love it that Vaudies, we are broadening our horizons and stepping out of Sioux Falls to a new venue with what an appropriate name, the Sky Lounge.
Yes, it's going to be, in fact, it's going to be 3 big nights at the Sky. We'll get around to that in a little bit, but starts off tonight. So to celebrate the diamond episode of the Dave Holly Hour, we are going to fill it with golden talent.
Absolutely.
And golden foolin', but no foolin' on the great talent.
That's right.
Yes, we've got a wonderful thing going on. Jenny Mack is she's show wife. Yeah, I'm her show husband.
That's right.
We've been doing this a few years where we've acted together in various things. And the Vaudies is something that the two of us and my dear friend Dakota Crow from Minneapolis all came up with for the idea to have some variety because there's so much of it in this area. And not just the fact that there's so much of it, that it's also damn good too.
Right. We're so both of us so lucky. We're so surrounded by so many different creatives, whether it's, that's why I love that we can always describe Vaudies as music, madness, mayhem, because we've got the magic, we've got magicians, and at our Vaudies After Dark, which was in October, which was our last show during pandemic.
Yes, correct pronunciation.
That was our all-female review. We had great comedy. We had great music. We had burlesque dancers. So, it was talk about shining bright like diamonds. That was a beautiful, and that was to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Dave Holly Show.
That was the first anniversary that we were celebrating that time. So it works out nicely. So hopefully in 25 weeks, when we hit number 100, maybe that'll be a Thursday. If it's not a Thursday, we'll still do a show.
Yeah.
Just for fun, just to market the 100th anyway.
Absolutely.
That'll be great. Well, hopefully we come back to you like on a monthly basis. That's actually been our goal for a long time. But when we started it, we were kind of on pace for it. And then life happened and, some health issues for each of us.
Yep.
And then additionally, beyond that, the venue that we loved so dearly decided to close down.
Right. And the thing about the venue that we love so dearly and some of the other venues that we've done since then is one of the things that the other thing I love about Vaudies is how we've always kind of gone for the intimate setting. We don't want a stadium crowd.
Right.
We want to bring together our, like I said, we're lucky. Our best friends are professionals in their craft, and we've always wanted to bring them together with an intimate setting and where the crowd can be interactive if they want to be, and and we get that closeness. And so we've always been very lucky to find those perfect niche venues where we walked in and we just felt the spirit of Vaudies is here. But now, also as part of evolving with pandemic times, it's time for even an intimate show. We still want an intimate small crowd, but we need a little more space. We want to do what we want to do. And so I love that we are we're gonna break in this space for them. We're gonna take this rustic corner lounge.
You got the Sky Lounge, and then they bought the building that was behind them. They put in a door for a little walkway, and
a leprechaun door.
Well, it's a big leprechaun can get through there though, because Boomer's mighty big size. One of their bartenders.
Leprechauns can bring their full size friends.
That's right. Yes. But in the back then is this room that used to be a mechanical type shop. And so it has a couple of garage doors so that eventually what they're going to be doing once they get it all remodeled is have those doors up. They can have volleyball in the back, or they can, have outdoor seating, all things along that line. But it's going to be 3 big nights there, starting tonight with us for Vaudies.
And we'll come back and talk about the show specifically tonight in just a moment. But might as well get the plug out of the way for the whole weekend. Because Friday night, then, I'll be hosting trivia at the Sky.
Is there a theme?
No theme this time. It's just going to be...
Wild card.
Oh, that's what we need to call it. There we go. Because Tanya Baker, one of the three owners there, she and her husband and her friend Beth Milky are the three owners. And she said, we got to come up with a different name other than general trivia. Wild card.
Wild card.
There we go.
That totally fits in, because when we start talking about how we came to the Fool's Gold, I mean, it's totally that Wild West, down and dirty.
Yeah, Digger Dave
and Calamity Jen. And so I love it if the next night is draw your card, Wild Bill. So...
Yeah, so we'll have the trivia there. There's always great prizes. And that's actually this time going to be in that back area.
Nice.
Because we'll have sound left over from the Body Show that we're doing
Perfect.
tonight. And then on Saturday night, starting at 9, they have their karaoke finals. They've been building up to this for months. I believe there's either 12 or 13 finalists.
Wow.
That will each be singing 2 songs. And somebody's going to walk out of there. I can't remember the breakdown specifically, but it's a total between the top 3 of $1,000.
And that is not fool's gold. You can put that money in the bank.
Real hard green cash. Excellent.
Absolutely.
So that'll be a very fun time. But leading up to that, then at 7 o'clock, the very first Dave Holly Hour podcast live, a special edition, 7 o'clock. On Saturday night leading up to the karaoke finals. And then during that time, we'll be interviewing those that are the finalists, those that are the judges, and
Nice.
maybe just a few others that are regulars around the Sky, and see what they think of that and what they think of the new place and everything else along that. All right. So that lengthy explanation out of the way now, so that
Let's
we
talk
can talk
about
about
us.
tonight's show. Yes. All right. So variety. Vaudevillian type variety. In fact, our little slogan is it's the Vaudies, Sioux Falls' very own motley crew of vaudevillian talent.
Absolutely.
And we are so lucky that we have so many people that we can draw out of the hat. I mean, we could throw all these
Absolutely.
entertainers in and just go, let's pick that. Okay, yeah, sure. So
Not to date myself, but like before.
one time you said Rolodex, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I do have a Rolodex. But think back to when you had MySpace and you had your top 8.
Oh, wow.
And we each, in our speed dial of close friends, have everybody, what everybody wants for entertainment top 8 in South Dakota.
Oh, and I'll just give you an example. For instance, when I started this show a year and a half ago, I wrote down 50 names as potential guests. I still haven't gotten to about 30 of those because I've met other people along the way.
Right.
And, just new entertainers that are in town.
Right.
New things going on. So, yeah, we got a lot we can choose from. There's no doubt about that.
He didn't write down my name because it took me like, what was I? I was the 21st.
Oh, you're going to bitch about this?
No, you don't call me the wife for nothing.
Well, I waited for the appropriate moment. Oh, and now you're going silent. Wow. Pregnant pause.
It doesn't drop quite as well on a podcast.
Right. Audio versus video, it's a little different, that's for sure. But you do happen to be videoing this, don't you?
Yes,
or at
I
least
have,
you.
At least me,
Here,
I do.
Should I reach around? Here's my hand. This is Dave. All right. Hi there, everybody out there in internet land.
I do have our Vaudies Facebook Live up, which is, facebook.com/Vaudies, VAUDIES, even though autocorrect always thinks I'm saying we're having bodies shows.
Yep.
But I do have our Facebook Live up. And because my tripod wasn't working, the camera's only on me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think that makes it 1-to-1.
But here's the thing. So anybody watching on Facebook right now is seeing the visual of that I did wear my diamond theme mask for the Diamond Show. And I will have a gold theme mask for the Fool's Gold.
There we go. I think I might even have a gold themed mask, but I don't wear mine much anymore. There are certain places that I wear it into.
Yes.
Because it's like a no doubter. Like any store that has the word Walmart in it, or any store that has the word dollar in it. And I think that will continue after the pandemic.
Yeah. And everybody knows I have invested in I'm a girl that's all about costume changes and accessories. So I embraced the masks real early on in an aggressive way. And definitely, I don't know, as a theater kid, how can we not all want to be wearing costumes every day, and have costume changes? So I'm very good about it. I think that is a good little opener to talk about.
Exactly. You segued into that like a pro.
Well, yeah. It's like we've done this 3 times today.
Yes.
Who knows?
We'll give you another tippity roll for that. And now the very important public service announcement. Miss Jenny Mack.
All right. So, like we said, our last show was in October, and it was deep in the pandemic. And Dave was gracious enough, and also some of the guests that we had booked for the winter shows. Zach is one of them. Jesse is one of them. Were kind enough because I was very concerned about being conservative. Like when all of your guests are your friends that you love like family. Mm-hmm. And a lot of our fans are our friends and family. We wanted everybody to be safe. And Dave definitely has worked hard to keep entertainment alive through the podcast. You've been bringing it into people's homes this way and into whatnot. So we did go on a small hiatus. Yes. But now...
Yeah, so throughout the career of Vaughties, we had a big hiatus there for a few years. But now, just a small one.
Just a small hiatus. Just a little one. It's more of a little toe than a big toe this time.
Oh, thank you.
I had to go below the belt.
In fact, I had a doctor appointment this morning, and it was a neurologist, and he wanted to, check the feeling of my feet with my diabetes and, hardly anything. And then he also wanted to check balance. And so I did that. And he says, now can you lift the other big toe up? And I made him laugh because ever since it happened that I got a toe amputated, I always love to tell people, well, now I get 10% off my footwear.
Oh, my goodness.
And he rolled over on that one.
I wish I had my Zach Dresch Gronies shirt on now. There will be Gronies shirts at the merch table.
Yep.
But we because I am still such a great supporter of the wearing the masks, and we're both so excited to have been lucky enough to be vaccinated, and many of our friends are. But we still have friends and family that either haven't had a chance to get vaccinated or they have a reason they can't, and they want to start coming back out and doing things. And so, first thing we talked about, Vaughties has always been. Our goal is to have it be an intimate show, a small venue with where you can be close to your entertainment and just that vibe and that feel. But now we're in a world where we need to be bigger. I love the way you describe it as big open space.
Yeah.
Big open raw.
Very much.
I mean, because this is raw and new for us to step into big space where we can still create an intimate feel, but give people that comfort. And so I personally said, well, we have to reward people for being the real gold in all of this. And so for the first 25 people that come through the door wearing a mask, we're going to have a $1 off drink token. And for the first 25 people that show us their proof of COVID vaccination, they're going to get a $1 drink token. And yes, you can have a mask on and show your vaccination and get $2. So bring your sugar to tea and we'll have something to stir it up in for you.
Oh, not only that, but then you can go, back to the bar part. Actually, they'll have a little bar set up, a mini bar and so forth back there. And, then you can enjoy something that might kill the COVID.
It'll at
least make you feel better for one night.
Right. That's the Wild West. Bite the bullet. Here's a shot of whiskey and
Digger Dave and Calamity Gin. Yep, we'll be there.
We'll be there. Now you reminded me how old I feel.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I've already mentioned Rolodex and MySpace. Next, let's
You know
talk
what? I
about-
think the MySpace might actually beat Rolodex anymore.
I know, because there's a lot of kids out there that are going, what the F is a Rolodex?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
you used it to dial people on the landline.
Yeah, you know
keep
what that
their
was?
numbers.
It was a telephone that was actually mounted on a wall, or if it wasn't mounted on the wall, it had a long cord going to a wall.
Right.
Yeah.
We miss those days.
Oh, do we ever? No.
Yeah.
But so we've replaced it all with modern technology, including that of which you are showing off right now. Peace, everybody. Yeah. And so it's a great thing that we have that. And it's a great thing that we have people that are amazingly talented that will be playing tonight, 8 p.m., Sky Lounge and Tea, $10 at the door. Cash is wonderful. But we also take Venmo and PayPal.
Excellent.
Yeah, we'll be
Yes.
able to do that. So feel free. And if you know what, if you really like the show, you can put a tip on there too. We'll take all those we can get.
And always remember, tip your entertainers and tip your servers
Servers.
everywhere you
Yes.
go right now.
Yes.
One, they all had to take unimaginable amounts of time off. And two, like, there's some frontline heroes. They're the ones that have been going to work through all of this, and they don't know, what every day is going to hold.
That's
so.
right. The uncertainty of it all, but you can be certain to be entertained tonight. Opening up for us tonight, as you and I co-host this little shindig, we will have Common Ground. Katie Reed, Brady Reed, as together, they are Common Ground. They each have separate music, and you will be able to buy their albums, well, CDs, and
saying albums dates us
I know
too.
it, exactly.
If they bring out some vinyl, that'd be awesome.
But they will be doing some cover songs. They will also do a couple of originals, is my understanding. And Brady plays guitar, and Katie plays the keys. And they're both phenomenal musicians and great voices as well. And
what a coincidence! The same last name and in the same band.
See, I thought they should have been double reed instruments.
Ha ha! That's a good one.
WRED. Yeah. And I will let Brady tell the interesting tidbit about country music in his family. Let's just say he had a step relative that was mighty big. Mm-hmm. So we'll let that go. But then we also have Stuck in the Middle. Stuck in the middle with you is our dear friend, a Vaughty's Sage return
Yes.
for Jesse Moffat, comedy magician / hypnotist.
Absolutely.
Probably won't be doing any hypnotism, but we've got him booked to come in and entertain everybody. He has some magic that, well, the routines that he does lend itself more to 21 age and over.
Absolutely.
Right. So, again, this will be an adult show because of the location, first of all, where we are, but also the material will be of adult nature sometimes, especially when it comes around to Zach Dresch.
Zach's a real boy now. He's
Yes.
grown up.
He's still the flu bug.
He is still the flu bug.
But he has his Grony shirts that will be for sale. But better than that, just take in the entertainment the man's going to provide you with for
Absolutely.
half an hour.
Absolutely.
He is.
You
is
probably saw him
top-notch.
on Dakota News Now.
Yeah, he was on this
And-
morning.
Yep.
Yeah, and so thank you to Zach for pumping the show because then he and I and someone else that's an alum of Vaughty's,
The
Jamie
beautiful
Tharney.
Jamie Tharney.
The three of us will be doing a show on Saturday the 24th at the Black Angus Bar and Grill in Canton, all comedy. So that is to look forward to. But, the whole Vaughty's thing started because, we just knew a lot of people. And a good friend of mine helped us out and says, well, why don't you do this? And then he was already on and getting, website names and stuff.
Absolutely.
But Dakota Crow from the Twin Cities, my best friend, he could see it that, just by sitting around us as we're talking. And if I'm not mistaken, that night, wasn't it Matt D that was playing?
I believe so.
Yeah. I think
it was Old Schools.
Old Schools.
Which was, some
Which
would
we
say the
both-
wrong side of the tracks. I would say the right side
That's
of the
'cause
tracks.
you grew up on that side.
Because I grew up on that side. So, yeah. Go East Side Love.
Yeah. And we need to get Matt on because, he's got an album releasing about right now. And so congrats to Matt. And Matt is a super guy. But we were just sitting there around there and listening and having a blast with a bunch of other entertainers.
Yep.
And my friend Dakota is a big lover of events. He's a lover of entertainment. And he just kind of looked at us like, well, why don't you guys come in like once a month or something?
Right.
And that is still our goal.
Absolutely.
Now to get back to once a month shows. We do want that. That's what we're hoping for.
And I love like, as you were talking about the Sky Lounge, that they're going to have the doors that can open. I love the idea of, I'm such a sit outside girl if we can. I love sitting in the sun. I love that feeling. And we have not ever done an outdoor performance. And so I love the idea of...
there could be one down the line.
Yeah. Well, but I love the idea of, because as we've experienced like this week with one day it was warm out, the next day it was cold, and then the wind is blowing, and then there's a plague of locusts and all this. So I love the idea.
The wind got my hair. Took every single bit of it.
Every single one. Yeah. I thought you were looking shinier than usual.
I
did. I thought you just buffed up for the Diamond Show, but I love the idea of, being able to open the doors and have that ambiance.
That fresh feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. So
exactly.
that'll be fun there. And we might be able to do one more there before they start remodeling. And then, of course, once they get it remodeled, we will be back there. So first of all, if you have a small, intimate venue or know of one that serves adult beverages, or at least is a beer and wine type of place that we would be able to play, we would certainly take it into consideration, and not just take it into consideration, most likely jump on it right away and say,
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
We would love to do that.
We would, I would say there are some specifics in Jenny Mac's rider, and one of them is I really like it to be a Coca-Cola venue. I'm not saying.
As do I.
Yes, I love.
And I really enjoy if along with the Diet Coke, there's a bottle from Lynchburg, Tennessee.
That's right.
And some fruit from a tropical area that's a lime. Or at least, as Zach would say, it rhymes with lime.
It rhymes with lime.
Actually, rhymes with limes. Wow.
Are you sure that's just a bottle of Coca-Cola?
No, it's Diet Coke. Came from my house. Oh, that's good. Theater of the mind, don't you love it?
That's right. And I've been doing. A lot of our fans know part of our hiatus was my lifelong chronic condition that I have dealt with, and I wasn't able to travel and go as far, but I have been feeling better, and I've been doing some traveling, and I've met some performers from some different areas around the state that I really, honestly, I would love to branch out and do a show in the West. And I would love to, because I've learned I feel physically better in the West.
Right.
And it's that desert Badlands air. But also, like, some of them I would like to bring over here because...
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah.
There is a bridge that goes across the Missouri.
Good Lord, I've been swimming it. What the heck?
Oh, my. Come on, girl. That's because all that blonde hair came back, wasn't it?
I know. Nobody knew I was blonde underneath all these years of, what did I have? Red, purple, black, brown. And then when I decided to grow out my grays, I discovered I was a blonde. I wish that
we just thought it was part of the act.
Yeah, I wish that said it explains so much.
And now I'm going to get hate mail from blondes.
I will say, as a blonde, I don't know that I've necessarily had more fun. I think I think that people thought I was equally fun before.
I would say so.
Yes.
All right, but we are going to have fun tonight. In fact, 3 nights at the Sky in Tea, South Dakota. Sky Lounge. We start our show tonight, the Vaughties, 8 p.m., $10 at the door, cash or credit or debit. We will take them all. And then...
and even though it's traditionally tax day,
right,
you do not have the excuse of that you're at home trying to file.
Right. In fact, we pay the tax on this. You don't. So just feel free to bring your $10 bill. Slap it down.
That's right.
But bring a few more to slap down on the table at the bar for those great barkeeps.
Exactly.
Yeah, and thank you to the Sky Lounge, who is a sponsor of this show. And we'll be sponsoring the new venture on Saturday night of a live podcast, and very much looking forward to that. But really looking forward to tonight's show and having fun on stage with you again, Jenny.
I know. I'm so ready to be back, and I'm ready to do it safe. I love that we're going to reward people for their masks and vaccination. And I love for our friends and family that aren't able to be vaccinated yet, that we've found that bigger space to give them.
Right, so you don't have to be sitting on anyone else's lap unless you
want to.
All right.
And anybody that's watching this live realizes we do not script this.
Exactly. This is just us.
This is why
it's
we're bodies. Yes, this is how we came to be.
And this is where we have to end for now. See many of you tonight. 8 o'clock at the Sky Lounge and Tea. Jenny Mac, as always, thank you very much.
Yes, this is just wrapping up one episode. It's not an ending.
No,
it's just a see you later.
Means. All right, then we'll see you later tonight. And we'll be back to wrap up the show in just a moment.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XL Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or xlchiros.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XL Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
From the Dipsy Doodle Studios at the world headquarters of Big D Entertainment, a 40-square-foot home studio in the middle of America, it's Dave Holly.
Thanks again, everybody. Certainly appreciate you listening to the entirety of the Dave Holly Hour. Appreciate it. Again, thank you to my guests, Tori and JD and Jenny Mac. And as well, thank you to our wonderful friends at Wood Grain Brewery, Frontier Bank, and Aquafresh. That nice little lobby area that they have there on 9th and Phillips is a wonderful place to sit, read a book, maybe drink a beer when the brewery's open. Sit back, have a great snack. Otherwise, from Aquafresh, if you got to do a little banking, they've even got the ATM right there. It's a virtual thing, too. Very cool. But thank you, because it's a great place where it's kind of centrally located for people to get together so we can have those great conversations. Also, thank you for the likes, the shares, everything that you do on social media for us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It is greatly appreciated. Here's what's coming up for this big weekend. Like I said, it is Vaughties tonight. It's our diamond anniversary, but to celebrate, we're talking April Fool's Gold at the Sky Lounge and Tea at 8 p.m., $10 at the door, cash or card. Also, it's the beginning of 3 nights at Tea for Big D Entertainment / Dave Holly Hour, etc. As Friday night, the ruggedly handsome trivia host himself, me, will be back hosting, still at this point, general knowledge, but I think the name's getting changed for the general trivia nights to being called Wild Card, or we'll come up with something even more spectacular with that if we need to. In addition to that, then, that starts at 7 o'clock on Friday night for the trivia. Some great prizes up for grabs. And then Saturday night is the big $1,000 karaoke contest finals at the Sky with Giddy Up Karaoke. And before that, to lead up to it, the first ever Dave Holly Hour live. Yeah, a live podcast. There will be details to follow that you will find on the Dave Holly Hour page on Facebook. We will keep you posted and pass it along. Also, just remember to get over there, get to the DaveHollyHour.com website or the DaveHolly.com website. You can get to either one from the other one. Works out well. In the meantime, thanks again. It's been a great episode 75. 76 next week is going to include a couple of my colleagues from Midtown Coffee Radio Hour podcast that also happen to be great performers that will be sharing the stage together coming up. We'll tell you all about it next week with Wade Gamar and Maren Engel. They will be on the Dave Holly Hour. I'm Dave Holly, and remember, for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by the Sky Lounge and Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, and Books and Brews Pizzeria. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, go to DaveHollyHour.com. At the bottom of the front page is the additional links section. Click on the orange button, Dave Holly on Linktree. You can order merchandise, become a Dave Holly Hour VIP, and make contributions to the show. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.